Добрий день усім присутнім в прес-центрі, а також усім тим, хто дивиться та слухає нас онлайн. В Українському кризовому медіа-центрі розпочинається захід на тему «Американсько-український благодійний турнір з гольфу для ветеранів». Я передаю слово пану Дмитру Терпилу, операційному директору The Borderlands Foundation. Будь ласка.
Доброго дня. Дуже радий.
Натиснув. Доброго дня, дуже радий всіх бачити. Почну з великої подяки, по-перше, команді нашій, дівчатам, партнерам усім і, звичайно, нашим хлопцям.
And of course to our boys and girls veterans, thanks to whom we all perfectly know, and I'm repeating many times, thanks to them we have the possibility to be here. Second and most important, the idea of the fund is helping veterans of war in Ukraine. And our initiative and uniqueness is that we are already conducting rehabilitation of our veterans of war through golf. That's a really nice experience from the USA. We can take that from their veterans because they have huge experience of both physical and mental rehabilitation from post-traumatic stress disorder. That is, golf for the USA is a big culture. They have huge experience of working with veterans, and we want to take this experience for Ukraine, both physical and mental rehabilitation. That is from post-traumatic stress disorder. The main aim of the fund is to unite veterans communities of the US and Ukraine for helping our Ukrainian heroes of war. I would like to mention a few words about the tournament that we already had near Kyiv. That it was a unique tournament which is called United by Golf. It's the first time that in Ukraine our veterans were playing together with representatives of the golf community in Ukraine. More than 32 participants were there, and all the event had more than 120 representatives and participants, and the charitable fundraising was really successful, and the money now is sent for rehabilitation of Elena, Alexander, Denis, and other guys, Vitaly, and others. We are conducting now this rehabilitation, and briefly about the tournament in the USA that will take place. What's important to know, the tournament in the US will take place at the acting military base, which is home, so to say, for the President Port number 1, and the President of the US is taking his business trips all the time on that plane. And also there is like a place from which each of our veterans can see how maybe even the president's plane will take off. And also the president of the US is playing golf on that field, and we have more than 185 representatives at the gala evening that will take place after the tournament. We have honorable guest, the veteran David Petraeus, and he is already retired. And we are bringing some interesting lots from Ukraine, and each the participant will get a special prize, memorable prize, and also the money will be spent for rehabilitation and recovery. I will give the floor to our speakers. The first one, Samuel Cook, founder of the Borderlands Foundation. Sam, please tell us about the idea of the fund, the idea of a golf tournament, and about your path of rehabilitation from PTSD.
First of all, I just want to thank you and the team for putting this together. I moved to Ukraine 6 years ago. I was here with a tech startup that I founded here in Ukraine right before the full-scale invasion. I saw what was coming. I saw that Russia was going to invade by watching the news in America and Twitter and intelligence, and I made sure that my team was in safety in Western Ukraine, and I left on 12 February with my fiance, who I'm now married to, from Ukraine. And as soon as the war started, I realized that I had to get involved. I consider Ukraine my country now. I've been here in Kiev longer than any place in my adult life, and we decided to move back and start the Borderlands Foundation. And a lot of people are doing a lot of things to help people on the front lines, and what I'm passionate about is helping Ukraine's veterans, because I'm a veteran myself. And the two main ways I want to help veterans is, our motto is make sure Ukraine's heroes are never forgotten, because I believe the stories of these heroes sitting around me, the fighters who've both passed away, been wounded, and maybe aren't going to be officially wounded in the traditional sense, but after the war, everyone's going to have memories that cause psychological difficulties. I saw that with my friends in Iraq who came back from the war. I think every soldier is changed by war. Every soldier has some level of trauma, whether they choose to admit it or deal with it or not. It affects them. I know for me, for 8 years, I never thought I had any problems until it came out when I did some work on myself after Iraq. And I want to bring the same thing I experienced with some breakthrough technology, psychedelic-assisted therapy, to the veterans of Ukraine, fund some research and clinical trials, and the ability to get that treatment into the hands of as many veterans as possible, because that's what I'm passionate about. The other thing Borderlands Foundation stands for is history, the history of this war, making sure heroes' stories are never forgotten for the future of our country. And I say our country because my wife and I want to have our family here. I want my kids to be Ukrainian first with, some crazy American dad. And I want their country to be strong, and you build a strong country through strong history. And I taught Russian history at West Point. I went back after serving 2 tours in Iraq to teach Russian history at our military academy to cadets. And when I went to New York University, met a bunch of people from Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. Ukrainians were my favorite. I studied Ukrainian history. I did my master's thesis on the conquest of southern Ukraine under Catherine the Great. Went on to marry a woman named Katerina. And I believe that the future of Ukraine will be built on the history of this war. Powerful, united, strong, place that everyone in the world wants to come visit. When they come here, they're going to fall in love with the country, want to invest, want to donate to help the veterans, want to start companies here, hire people from Ukraine. And so my vision for the Borderlands Foundation is to make sure that when this war finishes, unfortunately that might be a while, but when it does, we don't forget about what happened, and we don't forget the stories, and more importantly, the people who made those stories, we take care of them. So that's our vision for the Borderlands Foundation.
Thank you so very much. Дякую, Сем. Зараз
Thank you very much, Sam. Now we would like to give the floor to Olena Hubka. And she's been dreaming of golf for a long time, and hopefully we are helping in making dreams come true. Hello, everyone. I am really grateful to everyone. Indeed, that was a dream of mine. When I came back to civil life, for a long time I had to figure out some issues. There was a lot of details, and for a long time I did not come back because I had to be with my people. I had to further and further on support them, and I guess I stuck a bit on a certain stage, and here I just saw the golf game, to learn to play golf and also continue that in professional sense and go to the tournament in the USA. Well, actually, I never even expected to participate in a tournament. I just wanted to learn how to play golf. And I'm not saying that I learned how to do that, but I'm on my way. And I really like it. That's really cool. That's a cool rehabilitation. And I've told about golf to a lot of people, about such way of rehabilitation through golf. Many people were interested, and hopefully in Ukraine, golf will be a very cool direction, because earlier on it was not as accessible. So hopefully now we will break all these stereotypes, and this rehabilitation will be available for everyone, thanks to you, because actually you are just cool. So thank you very much, and believe me, that's great. So I'm really happy that it happened so that I undertook that training and in the future, this tournament. And I would like to thank you beforehand that we will go and we will show the whole world that we are also playing golf. We are veterans and we want to have the right rehabilitation. We are doing that the right way. And I really want, well, actually everyone to see that we are on the same level as everyone. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Elena, for the nice words. Next, the word to Denis Kovalenko, Senior Soldier of 12th Brigade of Special Assignment Azov. Honestly, I personally asked him to deliver a speech in here because that's the person who visited almost all the trainings, perfect discipline. Thank you very much for coming and training and understanding the responsibility. Tell us, please, about your trainings and expectations from the tournament in the USA and maybe how this helps the veterans community to come together in Ukraine. Hello one more time to all of you. As for my training, I would say golf for me as sports was some kind of a big secret before the opportunity offered by your foundation, the opportunity for rehabilitation. I'm grateful for this opportunity and training because for me, this sport is interesting because it allows to learn how to concentrate, how to focus on important things, but at the same time, it also allows to relax emotionally. That is for rehabilitation of military servants, I guess. That's a very important point. And this will help us to unite in our veterans community of Ukraine and also by participating in this tournament with American veterans that will give us the opportunity to also show us on the international level and to unite the communities of different countries together with us. So that's quite an interesting opportunity. And I think that for our veterans community in Ukraine, it will be a chance to come back to usual life. And also that is good for socialization. It's going to be quite good, I guess. As for the trainings, I really like that thanks to the trainings, I can, well, let us say so, thanks to the trainings, it is easier for me to have rehabilitation from my injury. And this also gives the opportunity for me to come back to work faster because I think my story is not over yet. And correspondingly, that is also a big stimulant for me to come back. That I am participating all the time in the trainings. I'm persistent in what I do and I want to speed up my coming back. I would like to thank one more time to the foundation, to thank our American partners, and to thank indifferent people in general, those people who are helping us. And they are helping us spiritually as well, not just financially, not just materially, because this gives us the opportunity to feel ourselves that we are not abandoned. And I would like to thank our patronage service of Azov that is taking care of the people who are part of Azov family. And also for those people, it is important to feel themselves not abandoned. So that's it from my side. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, Denis. I hope that you and other veterans who we are training to the tournament and we are planning to make it of a larger scale afterwards, we will choose the best ones who will be fond of golf and we will create a golf team under the flag of Ukraine and Borderlands brand, and under this brand they will take a speech on the international arena in the USA, and they will glory Ukraine. So the word to Alexander Kovalchuk, the trainer of Borderlands. Hello, everyone who is present. I would like to, first of all, join the words of the speakers that golf, and me as a trainer in golf, I think that golf is the best kinds of sports for rehabilitation and support and improvement of mental health, not just for veterans, but in general for everyone who is taking the equipment into their hand and they're going to the golf field and they are pushing the ball to the hole or pushing that, etc. As for the training process, I would like to mention that now veterans are training in 2 locations. The first one is the closed premise, where they are practicing more some technical moments of the hit. And the second location is the open field, golf field, where we are working on strategy of game and mental component of the game, the rules, etc. Well, actually, as what I would like to add regarding the level of players who are now on the training, the time for the training, we have lack of time. And I would like to say that even though we achieved good success from the players in terms of technical hits and also knowing the rules, how to behave on the field, and connection of veterans with trainers is also of a great significance. The guys do just a great job. I see smiles on their faces. I see the flame in their eyes. So we will continue our trainings with veterans and with those who really want to take the stick and go to the field. And I would like to add that locations for this kind of, we don't have many locations for this kinds of sports. So together with our team of Borderlands, Gafly, BPG, to develop these kinds of sports and further on try to increase the number of locations for this game. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. The next word is to our wonderful partners, Alena Tolkacheva, head of the patronage service of Azov, and the Borderlands Foundation will send part of the money from the charitable tournament in the USA. They will give money her for rehabilitation of veterans and treatment of PTSD. Greetings. I would like to switch to the results straight away, on rehabilitation with the help of golf. Because we noticed we have 10 years experience in rehabilitation as a patronage service. We have a huge number, huge sample, I would say so, of boys, those who are wounded with contusion, PTSD. And only now we noticed how golf is impacting not just mental health of boys, but also their physical rehabilitation. For example, regarding those who have amputations, when they are playing golf, in parallel, they are learning how to walk with a prosthesis. Sometimes, for example, boys with high amputation, it is hard for them to force themselves to train all the time to walk with a prosthesis because that's a huge work. You have to force yourself to doing that because it's incredibly hard. These are high amputations, like above the knee. And we had a lot of cases when boys received prostheses that were going through classical rehabilitation and training on the prosthesis, then they took it off and they were just walking without that, or they were trying to drive the car and to walk less. When boys started going in for golf, especially boys with high amputation, I see that they do not notice how they are walking by many kilometers with the prosthesis. And when they have an aim in the form of a game, this gives an opportunity to forget about the difficulty of the load and to focus on the game. And this gives them motivation to walk with the prosthesis, and after that, they will not stop using the prosthesis. They will continue walking, especially if they will be also interested in continuing playing golf. And maybe many of those boys who are now training on the training, they would like to do that professionally. It will be, if they don't plan to come back to work, it will be the new life for them, and they will be able to realize themselves in sports. And in turn, that will reduce the level of post-traumatic stress disorder and its complications after the end of rehabilitation. Therefore, I see a big future in Ukraine regarding the development of this type of rehabilitation, and I will, together with our team, I will promote this idea in Ukraine together with our partners, because indeed this is something that works and works really cool. Thank you. Thank you very much, Elena. Now the floor to Serhiy Vysotsky, our sponsor, deputy chairman of TOW Radionics. He will tell about our large-scale project. Golf, it's very cool. We made a larger scale of that. We will have the first Summit of Freedom, 1st 7th of June. Serhiy will tell us about that. Thank you very much, Dmitro. I would like to join the gratitude to all the organizers, to Sam, Dmitro, girls. And I would like to say that I'm deputy chairman of the National Association of Defense Industry Enterprises of Ukraine. Our association includes 55 leading companies, private companies in the defense sector. All the biggest companies are our members. They are supporting this initiative, and I can say a lot of words about the social responsibility of businesses, that we are all together, etc. However, the nature, Ukrainian business and veterans, they are together for the future. Some words like this. But I have to say that our business or our job in our life, the work that we do, because this is one of the pillars of survival of Ukraine, because this is something so close to the army that we don't feel that we are distant. Because every day we are coming to our guys, to the enterprise, we are testing our products, we are supplying, we are contacting, including also the units who are represented here. I would like to say more words about the fact that we need to win the war. And in order to win the war, we need international coalition. And the leader of that international coalition is, of course, the USA. But as you all know, as you all heard, there are certain problems. Electoral cycle in the USA is bringing its trends and difficulties in terms of continuing supporting Ukraine. And I'm very grateful to Sam and the organizers, because in the process of organization, in the process of rethinking how we as conscious citizens, it doesn't matter, are we now military servants, or we will become military servants tomorrow, or we are veterans, or we are the industry representatives. How do we come to representatives of authorities in Washington and those political circles that are making decisions? I'm really happy that it turned into the big 3-day summit of freedom, Ukrainian and American. And in the framework of that, there will be also the industrial conference in defense sector. We will be able to inform guests from the USA about those political efforts that our President Volodymyr Zelensky, our government, are making in order to preserve this international coalition. We will talk about the summit in Switzerland. Of course, we as an industry can speak to American industry about why cooperation of Ukraine and USA from the point of view of joint efforts of our industrial and defense sector. This is very important because American military corporations are really interested in cooperation with Ukraine. It's not only selling certain components to Ukraine at the cost of American budget or IT technologies that we have, and our technologies sometimes are better than American, to be honest. And our technologies might strengthen their defense sector, and their sector is a very strong lobbyist of own interest. And if we as Ukraine will be in focus of their interests, they will be able to get the political decisions, capitalistic decisions that we need as Ukraine. So this business-to-business contact is very important in order to persuade business community of the USA that Ukraine is necessary. That's human contact. These are emotions that, of course, our American colleagues will have when they will visit Veterans Conference that will take place on the second day. Because, as you know, to persuade the Speaker of the U.S. Congress that it is necessary to vote for a set of aid when he gets the report about the crimes of from Russian side on our territory, when the guy comes to him as a guest, Mr. Johnson, the Speaker of the Congress, he is a very faithful person and he's a Baptist, and when our boy Baptist, he lost all his family during the rocket hit of Russians. He came and he told his story. So this personal moment, persuading American politicians, those decision makers who are making those decisions, to look in the eye to our guys, to look in the eye of those people who are actually the shield of the free world in the last few years, that might be much more efficient than some diplomatic discussions. And of course, golf. Golf for Americans is a tradition, and Americans are solving in the day off in calm manner many business issues, political issues. That's American tradition. Elite. They are establishing contacts, they are making friends. And why does American president play golf at the same base as this tournament will take place, thanks to Sam and others? Because they are discussing a lot of important issues when playing golf. And establishing these informal relations with representatives of American elite, union of Ukrainian community, American community, veterans, politicians around the same aim from all the sides to make it so and to persuade American allies that we need the strategic alliance with the USA. So here, I'm sure, is the uniqueness of this event, and can't let it be okay, and hopefully we will bring from that Summit of Freedom some real results for Ukraine in terms of new contracts, some new maybe weapons, or maybe new support from American politicians. I believe in that, and I believe that indeed the organizers and Sam, they want to turn that into annual meeting, that this will be one of the tools for persuading people in Ukrainian interests, and one of the tools for making Ukrainian policy and interaction with those who are making decisions in the USA. I'm confident in that, and together we will do everything for Ukraine to win and for us to have the victory from our enemies by such diplomacy. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes. Thank you very much, Serhiy, for your support as sponsor for our Veterans of War and the Borderlands Foundation. And here at Metro, we could see who was the most boring person in the room, right? Yeah, that is how it should be. Each person has own role, and each person is working where he or she is the best and where they can bring more use. I would like to give the floor to Alexander Kikin. He is the head of the community of veterans of anti-terroristic operation with disability. Please, Alexander, tell us how your life came together with golf, how you became fond of golf and your preparation to the tournament. Hello, everyone. I guess that I met golf accidentally. It was 2017. One of the volunteers who is also... So, in Ukraine, golf appeared to be not as long time ago as in the USA. Well, maybe 15, 20 years ago it came to Ukraine. It didn't have such a big dissemination. It was not that popular because with stereotypes, people think that somehow this is only a game for millionaires. And mainly, we could see not poor people, let us say so, there. And due to the fact that it's not so popular, not of such a large scale, it was quite expensive. Very accidentally, we met that volunteer and he just offered to try and play golf. At first, that was during the winter, we started our training on golf simulators. We were getting acquainted with the rules. We were getting acquainted with the structure of the game itself, and we started our training. When I started, I got wounded back in 2014, and that led to the first group of disability. I had high amputation of one leg and 25% of workability of the other leg. So for 2 years, I've been using the prosthesis. However, I could not even stand. My knee could not just hold me. When I was standing on one leg, I was just falling. So I was walking a bit with the help of the crutches, and then I was sitting. But over time, I just got excited about the game itself. And now sometimes I'm leaving home, and sometimes I even forget to take a stick. I come to the elevator, and I just recall that I have it, and I should take it just in case. So to use that just in case, not for mandatory use. So this is physical rehabilitation as well. And when somebody thinks that there is nothing difficult about it, as if today I'm conducting trainings on the field of golf like 4-5 days per week, and sometimes even 8 hours long. I have my training all the time on the field, and this gives physical, mental, psychological, well, how do I say that? Maybe not rehabilitation, but it helps to calm down and get some pleasure from the game itself. That's very interesting because golf is a game where you are not, where you don't have to compete with the other partner. You have to win from yourself. In order to make the good hit, you have to kind of cope with yourself. You have to do that nicely with a good emotional condition, with a good mood. We started that back in 2017, and we invited many boys, and many of them tried this game. Then some left, and we already had a group of boys who stayed, and they were trained, and also we used one of the best fields in Kharkiv. Unfortunately, nowadays, due to the situation that we have, it's impossible because orcs are trying to get us there, and there were shellings and there were kind of hits to the field. Well, still, it is supported in working condition nowadays, but many of the guys who had rehabilitation further on in 2022 with the full-scale invasion again, guys came with disability, amputations. They came to defend our country. And I would also say that even in spite of the amputation, I took the weapon and I became the commander of the volunteer formation territorial community of the city of Kyiv, one of the battalions of volunteers. We were defending Kyiv also, and we were defending later on different directions. We're doing different operations. As of today, for me, golf, I guess, became a way of living, and I started doing that in a more professional way. My goal is to participate in international competitions already, like a championship of Europe or of the world. And that is why I am having trainings nowadays. I am also offering to get one more education as the specialist in rehabilitation using golf. And I have already some skills. I can share my skills with boys. I can help them come back to social and to have the full life. From the tournament in the USA, I hope that this will become a good tradition, that we will be able to hold a few tournaments later on, that American veterans will come to us, and we will be able to have such a tournament here in Ukraine, international tournament for veterans, and our boys will also be able to go somewhere to compete with American veterans. This tournament, well, how do I say that? Just like any other sports, we want to show what skills we have already. We want to show our achievements. Well, and of course, we want to win. Just like in any other kinds of sports. That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alexander, for joining the team of the Borderlands Foundation. I would like to make a brief comment here. We will never understand veterans. We will never understand how is it to come after the front line, to be wounded. But I know all of you. I know every one of you, and you are fully dedicated to your profession and we are working in order to give the possibility for veterans to develop how they want. We give the choices, the Borderlands Foundation, that is medical treatment and rehabilitation via golf. I personally joined the trainings, and I also plan to go to the field, first of all, for the discipline, so that we have bigger presence of veterans. But I can say from my side that even without being the veteran, I was at the front line. I was with the Legion. I was working as a military interpreter for 1.5 years. I was training Ukrainian militaries with the Mozart group. We trained more than 5,000 militaries. Unfortunately, most of them are gone, and even more are traumatized. So that's my personal issue, personal control, personal responsibility, together with Sam, for each person whom we are helping. And I would like to say that you cannot make a hit. You won't be successful if you won't get rid of all the thoughts, if you won't be honest with yourself and others. That is the right rehabilitation, but also the right upbringing of Ukrainian society, so that we are responsible, we are friendly, and this friendship with USA we want to develop. Now I would like to give the floor to Tatiana Hrubenyuk, a really good partner of ours, director of Revived Soldiers of Ukraine. We have the signed agreement with them on cooperation. They are helping us. They are financing air tickets for our veterans, and part of the money we are giving for rehabilitation via golf. I would like to say about Tatiana, we visited their event in Lviv, 10 years, and they, as managers, they are looking at the veterans, and the veterans are looking at them, and they're like a team, like friends. And that is just an incredible support, and this gives powers and energy for me and for the team in general to work and help. Hello, everyone. I'm really sorry for being late because I just came back from my business trip. I'm glad to see Sasha. I don't know whether you remember me, but since 2014, I'm volunteering and helping the wounded. What I would like to say, we as founders of 2 rehabilitation centers here in Ukraine, because we are already for 10 years with the guys, and we are for any initiatives, If they want to do some skating, let us do it. Golf, okay. Swimming, we had some guys who could not swim before, and now they learn how to do that, and they are preparing for some competition. We have a boy from Chernihiv region, the boxer, and now he won 5 golden medals, even in spite of the fact that he has very difficult amputation. We are for any partnership, anything that can help our boys. We are taking all of that and we are giving that to them. So that is very cool initiative. We are happy to be your partners. And you know that you can contact us 24/7. And the boys also know that everywhere on all the conferences and meetings I am saying, just let them try something new. Even if 9 of them will say like, no, that's not the thing for me. And 1 person will go and say, that's the sense of my life. That will be the victory. So thank you. Wish you success, and we are waiting for you in the USA. By the way, for veterans who are now in the rehabilitation center in Orlando, they will also visit the tournament and they will try themselves in the master class of ours on the 7th. Maybe questions? Are there any questions from the room? If yes, please raise your hand. Yes, questions from journalists from online. Tell us, please, about the day of the tournament and the charitable component in more details. What kind of mechanisms will be involved, and how do you plan to do some fundraising during the event? Thank you. Everything is very simple. First of all, we are selling tickets for the tournament, separate lower price for American veterans. Those 9 veterans who will visit it, our teams will consist of 4 people, the Gulf flight, so to say, and in each of flights, in 9 of them, there will be a Ukrainian veteran, American veteran, and 2 American Gulf businessmen. That is, we are selling tickets for the Gulf players, for Americans, for veterans, and sponsorship sets. We have, like, for example, the Mozart group. Rob, the person whom I know personally, he believed in the idea. He will play with his boys. It's 18 holes, the President's Field. It will be during 5 hours. It starts at 10 a.m. Then we will have a small break. And 5:30, we open the doors. We will have networking. We will start from the word of the General David Petraeus, ex-head of in the armed forces of the USA. There will be a musical play from Herdan, our Ukrainian music band. We will also sell some lots from Ukraine, that is cultural descent, that is ceramics, and warm the soul. And also those Ukrainians who are now in the USA, they are giving some lots to us. And there will be also a QR code. Each American who will go there and those who will visit the summit, they will be able to make the donation if they believe in us. Looking at our boys and girls, they will be able to donate. Another question. Tell us, please, whether you plan to further on conduct in Ukraine such charitable golf tournaments. Yes, the aim of our fund is to make this tournament annual. The first one is always the most difficult one, but we can take most of the experience from that, and believe us, we have lots of experience from that. So that will be the annual initiative, and we will have separate annual program for rehabilitation of veterans via golf, not just those boys and girls who already joined, but also we want to do the scaling of the process, because as Tatiana said, 9 people won't like that and 1 person will like. Like 1 person might fall in love with this sports and they will be able to represent our Borderlands Foundation and Ukraine on the international arena and involve some support from the USA, both moral support and from their experience of rehabilitation, and of course some money for supporting Ukraine. Thank you. Are there any other questions? If we have no questions, thank you very much to our dear speakers, and we will end on that our event. Thank you. Thank you.